Plymouth Athletic Center Gymnasium. Welcome to our second game of our doubleheader. Men's basketball taking the floor, and it is once again UMass Boston against Plymouth State. Hello, once again, my name is Joe Braverman, joined alongside Max Clifford. Max, we touched on it briefly at the end of the women's game, but this is a very important game. UMass Boston at 13-7 with 6-5 overall. They've lost 3 straight. They're looking for a bounce back.
Yes, absolutely. We mentioned that this team was on a historic winning streak earlier this season, tied the program record for consecutive wins. They weren't facing the best teams on their record. The best teams on their record have come in the last couple weeks, and they've had a losing record. This is not what they're used to seeing, but they've been through a gauntlet. And right now they are still one of the top teams in the rankings at the moment. They're the number 3 seed, and they're hoping to hold on to that seed. They're clinging desperately to it. And I think today is the day to have a get-right game. But they can't overlook this game either.
Meanwhile, Plymouth State, they're basically, we said it, same position as the women. Got to win out to get any kind of shot at the playoffs. They're sitting at a conference record of 2-10, but they have been playing better recently. They broke their 3-game losing streak this past Wednesday. They're looking to carry that momentum into today.
Yeah, it's absolutely. The Panthers, like I said, you can't count them out. You can't overlook them if you're UMass Boston. Their record, it says one thing, but the style of play could say a totally different thing once they step on the court. My only concern for the Panthers is how many players are they going to be playing with, because I see some guys in jerseys, some guys in sweats, a little bit unorganized, but hey, that's all right. Whatever works for you, as long as they've got enough guys to play the game.
Well, let's take a look at the season statistics for both the Beacons and the Panthers. Beacons have built their foundation on offense. They've been able to use their size, as we mentioned with Malik Lorquette. The problem for the Panthers, though, defensively, how are they able to stop the size and the speed and the shooting that the Beacons present?
Absolutely. The Beaks have strength all over the court, like you mentioned. It starts with Malik Lorquette down low, the best center in the LEC at the moment, you could argue. And he has showed out in almost every single game he's played. He has 16 double-doubles on the year. He's tied for 3rd in the entire nation in Division III right now. You can almost bet on him getting a double-double every time he steps out there. And his scoring presence cannot be understated. He's good to go every single game. And then if he's not on, the shooting could be on any given night as well. Manny Zayas and Mariano Olivier Rodriguez are 2 of the best 3-point shooters that we see, as well as Bobby Joy. Anybody could come alive at any given night, and that's the scary thing for the Beacons' opponents.
Yeah, they are shooting 31%, as you see, from 3, but it is destined to turn around. How about our matchup to watch? You mentioned one of the players, Mariano Olivier Rodriguez, 6 points a game, 4.5 rebounds per game for the senior from Somerville, Mass. He's become a very integral part, really, since conference play got underway. He's been a big factor in the rotation.
Yeah, I think early on in the season we didn't exactly know what Mariano was going to be for this team, but since conference play has started up, it's become clear that he's a playmaker and a shooter. He is excellent from long range. He can hit those threes that really swing the momentum for the Beacons and back up when some of the other shooters maybe aren't playing so hot.
How about on the other side for Plymouth State? Kyler Bosset, the second leading scorer in LEC, almost 21 points a game, shooting 48% from the field. You know that the offense is going to run through that guy.
Absolutely. You see he's averaging 21. The next closest player is just over 13 points per game. Kyler Bosset is going to be the difference for Plymouth State in this game. He's the leader that they're going to be looking to run everything through. And if they're going to have a chance to keep pace with the Beacons on offense, it's going to start with this guy.
Well, let's take a look at the sneak peek at the Beaks. It's a very, very busy weekend. We just had the women's basketball team play. We got men's basketball right now. But meanwhile, just a few feet away from us, women's ice hockey is currently taking the ice against Johnson and Wales. I believe they are scoreless from when I walked over there 5 minutes ago. They are coming near the end of the first period. And men's ice hockey also playing Johnson and Wales, but they are on the road. That game will kick off in about less than an hour, about 30 minutes or so, as they have a road matchup. How about our head coaching matchup? We've got 2 well-minded coaches. First, for UMass Boston, we know the guy there, Jason Harris, 8th season. They are struggling. We mentioned 1-4 in their last 5 games, but this is a guy that the teams trust, that they can turn it around.
Yes, at one point he had this team looking like one of the best in the country, and they've run into some really difficult luck lately with scheduling. This is a good coach who knows how to get the most out of his players, and come tournament time, which is soon, they're going to benefit from having a veteran head coach leading them.
Well, speaking of veteran, in his 12th season, Andrew Novick 12 seasons as a head coach. He's only the 13th coach in program history, so he's still got a ton of experience that he's bringing alongside for Plymouth State.
Absolutely, and we get to see this a lot in the LAC, longevity of coaches who know how to do their job well. Plymouth State, we mentioned, is struggling this season, but hey, Andrew Novick has been around the block a few times. He knows how to coach a team come the end of the season.
How about our individual leaders for both teams? You're going to see a lot of Malik Lorquette on that list, but he's got some good company there. You mentioned Manny Zayas with the shooting and the assists. You got Xavier McKenzie on the free throw line, and on the other side for Plymouth State, Bose, Henry, Dean, and Canabano. That is very much more spread out, which I think is going to benefit Plymouth State, the amount of leaders that they have.
No doubt, yes. I think Plymouth State has players all over the floor. And the Beacons have some players too, but they definitely do rely on Malik Lorquette largely. You see Manny Zayas could go off at any point. Xavier McKenzie has been unreal as a freshman. But they definitely rely on Malik Lorquette, and they can't fall into the trap of relying on him too much.
So let's take a look at our starting five as both starting fives are getting introduced. I just had to open my eyes really quickly when Avery Hazelton was announced for Plymouth State. 6'9", the freshman center from Whitefield, New Hampshire.
Freshman. I didn't even realize how young he was. I assumed he was a veteran player because he has the size to compete with anybody, and he is going to be the tallest player on this court easily today.
Well, you also have Corinne Roche. You also got Bose, obviously. He's on the floor there with Dean as well as just getting the number. It looks like Sean Menard is also the starting five. UMass Boston, you know exactly who the starting five are going to be. You got Lorquette, you got McKenzie, you got a lot of players out there.
Yes, you assume they're going to be rolling with their usual starting five. Malik at the 5, probably Tommy Burris working in there at the 4. You've got Manny Zayas running the point. Xavier McKenzie has been incredible as a stretch forward of sorts, and then Olivier Rodriguez running that shooting guard position.
And how about this? They're so locked in that they're not even doing the usual starting introductions. They are that locked into this match.
I think once you're 1-4, you stop worrying about the introductions. They want to make sure they're ready to prove what they've got this game.
So, again, we're going. I don't think I've ever seen this before.
No,
a team doesn't even care about the introductions. They're still going over their pregame meeting.
It's interesting. It's a choice, and I respect it because this is a team. They want to show just how locked in they are. They are not too worried about whose name is being called or who's going to start the game on the court because it's the 5 best players that are going to finish this game off.
So let's see if we can give you the starting 5 because they weren't introduced. You see Manny Zayas, Bobby Joy is out there along with Lorquette. You also got Olivier Rodriguez, and it looks like Tommy Burris is also out there. So that's your starting 5 for the Beaks as we are moments away from tip-off. Again, this is big in the standings. UMass Boston currently sitting at 3rd. It's a wide gap behind Keene State at 12-0, Western Connecticut at 11-1. So it looks like they're going to be stuck between the 3 and 6 spot if they want to make the playoffs. But this is huge. You look at the standings. They're tied with Southern Maine. They have the tiebreaker, but they're only a half game up on Eastern Connecticut as well. And don't forget UMass Dartmouth sitting at 5 and 6.
This is a crowded league, and that loss to UMass Dartmouth does big things for the Corsairs. And a little bit of a hot seat for the Beacons, who need to hold on to their spot in the playoffs if they want a home playoff game.
So we are underway. Manny Zayas starts with the possession. How about Lorquette winning the tip over Hazelton?
That's experience over height right there.
There is Lorquette trying to muscle his way through. Can't do it. The rebound will go to Menard. Here goes Menard the other way. Get it to Roche. Now here's Alex Dean. Here's Bose. Down low, Hazelton. No good. You see Lorquette there on the defense. He's playing taller than he really is. Obviously, the size advantage will go to number 0 in green.
Absolutely. It's rare that I see Malik look small.
That one goes short off the front rim. Shot there by Bose.
On the offensive end, keep an eye on 0 in white. Bobby Joy, he's an incredible shooter.
Speaking of shooting, Olivier Rodriguez, he's the player to watch, and he knocks in the first bucket for UMass Boston. Now Hazelton out top, looking for options. He goes to Bose. Guarded heavily by Olivier Rodriguez. How about the players to watch are guarding each other?
That's something else. I think they are going to be together quite often. They're similar size, similar play style. They're going to be together a lot.
And Hazelton with a three-pointer. Boy, that's scary when your 6'9" center is going to be shooting threes like that.
That's a stretch five right there.
Just wait for a few of them to go in. Then they'll be really dangerous. Rodriguez. Here's Burris. Now to Zayas. Top of the key, but a travel. Looks like a little bit of a hesitation there.
And that's just a mental mistake that you want to avoid. Again, this is a well-coached team, an experienced team. You don't want to make mistakes that are uncharacteristic of your play style, and that's not what the Beacons are used to seeing.
Beacons average the second fewest turnovers per game among conference teams at a little over 14.5. Meanwhile, for Plymouth State, nice floater, but a little strong off the glass. Followed the shot, and it's good for Roche. So Quinn Roche putting in the first bucket for the Panthers, 3-2 early on here. Panthers were 0 of 3 and 0 of 4 to start. And Lorquette blocked by Hazelton. Lorquette looked like he just figured out he's got his hands full. Lorquette with a pull-up from the free throw line is short. Here goes Bose, advancing it quickly up the floor for Dean, and he throws it away. And it will go to UMass Boston.
On the offensive end, I mentioned you're not used to seeing Malik look small. You're definitely not used to seeing him have his shot blocked. Hazelton is a big guy. It's been said, but he's going to be a problem for Malik Lorquette down low. And Malik has to use that shifty intelligence that he has down there, the experience that he has as a senior to find buckets that he doesn't normally need to find.
You got a 6'9", 300-pound freshman center going against a senior 6'5", 215-pound forward.
There aren't going to be any easy ones for Malik.
Second turnover there for UMass Boston. Again, rarely do they turn that ball over. Here's Hazelton looking for a cutter. Instead goes out to Bose. Bose fakes the step back. Now the fake for a hard blocked from behind.
Tommy Burris with the reach to block that shot.
And, Bose.
Wow. A deep triple. Bose, our players to watch, going shot for shot. Each have a three-pointer early here in the game.
There goes Burris. Mentioned, Beaks have lost 3 straight for their last 5, looking to get off the schneid. Panthers had a 3-game losing streak, broken on Wednesday as they beat Castleton. Manny Zayas knocking in the 3, and you hear the crowd reaction. We got a packed crowd. I know you don't see it on the camera, but they are right below us.
Yes.
It's been a packed house all day long.
It has. These Saturday matinees are huge. They draw big crowds here on the Harbor campus.
Hazelton loses the handle. Here goes Zayas, the no-look to Bobby Joy for 3.
That was gorgeous.
Now.
The pass and the shot, that was incredible. Manny Zayas and Bobby Joy are a great 1-2 punch. Manny Zayas finding the open shooter wherever he may be on the court.
Zayas in the top 5 in the conference in assists. He averages 3.5 assists per game as Lorquette and Burris was sort of a tag team block there.
Your 2 bigs came down hard on Hazelton there. I think Hazelton regretted that going up for that shot as soon as he went for it.
There goes Lorquette trying to get in there. And a travel. Well, I got to tell you, it's going to be a strategy. It looks like it's just going to be a real defensive battle as a timeout is taken here. 9-5 Beacons leave on top. Let's take a look one more time at that no-look for Manny Zayas bringing it up the floor. Well, first, it starts here on the defensive end.
Then look at this. Just not even a peek. He just knows that Bobby is in position. Bobby exactly where he needed to be to hit that near corner 3. Number 0, man, he is something else when he has the ball in his hands outside the perimeter.
Yeah, if you're gonna do, your classic no-look fake, that's how you want to do it.
Exactly.
You turn your head and you know where it's going.
And you want to get it to a guy you know is going to make it. And Bobby Joy is about the most reliable three-point shooter on the team right now.
So again, 9-5, not even 5 minutes old here. So still very early on, and it looks like Beaks are going to get their first set of subs here. I did see McKenzie over on the board. There he is. He's on the floor. He's there with Ike Alua as well.
Not surprised to see Xavier McKenzie and Ike Alua on the field, or court rather, early. They have been impact players. At times, starters when needed. Not currently because they're both working on coming back from some injuries, but they are huge. And Xavier McKenzie, as a freshman, he's won Freshman of the Week multiple times this season, and he is more than deserving.
Yeah, McKenzie has missed 4 games, but still he's the second leading scorer on the Beacons at just a shade under 16 points a game. Here's the turn, fire, short, another follow your shot, and a foul called as Quinn Rocci. He's been active down low on those offensive rebounds. He was getting the foul here. Zayas is getting the foul. It'll be the first for him and for the team.
Now with Loquette on and Hazleton off, Beacons are going to have a slight size advantage here on this next possession. Ikalua has some sneaky height too, so he can make big plays down low. They want to take advantage of that while they can, while Hazleton is off.
Rocci on the year at the free throw line has made 9 of 11, 82%, and he goes 2 for 2. 9-7 now our scores. Zayas quickly up the floor. Oh, and a miscommunication there. Boy, this is not what the Beacons wanted to start the game. Multiple turnovers. Gonna get the exact number here. So far, 3 turnovers.
Looking uncharacteristically sloppy for the Beaks early, and they're lucky that the 3 ball has been on because that's the reason they're winning right now. And they're going to need to clean it up if they want to hold on to that lead.
There's the spin by Dean and the foul by Bobby Joy, as he had Joy all in the spin cycle. And now Alex Dean will get himself to the line. Bobby Joy picks up his first personal. And how about this? We talked about the player to watch, like Bose, but it's sort of these unnamed guys we haven't really talked about who are making the impact. Dean makes the first. You have Rocci getting in there. That's going to open the door for guys like Bose to pick it up later on in the game.
Absolutely, a deep bench for Plymouth State. They're running with a lot of guys that they can play with right now, and it's going to help out the guys who get a lot of the looks on defense.
Dean averages 4.5 points per game. He is a 67% free throw shooter, and he knocked down both. And we got a tie game at 9. Here's Lorquette down low, too strong off the glass. Rebound to Marsh. Riley March, who just checked in. Extra pass. Bose goes now to Thomas. That's Ty Thomas working on Joy. He stops, and he puts it off glass. Boy, it looks like Plymouth is just having their way with the Beacons here early on.
They absolutely are. We're not used to seeing this. Beacons getting dominated on defense. They're usually a very a stout defensive team.
Rebound was to Tom Johnson. Here goes Bose. Looking for options. Goes back out to Johnson. Bose now in the post, working on Ilua. Uses the up fake, and he draws another foul. How about Plymouth State being aggressive early on? They've got themselves their 5th and 6th free throw attempts here the last 3 times down the floor.
Yes, it's a bit concerning for the Beacons to be racking up this many fouls this early in the game. They don't want to give Plymouth State any free ones, least of all Bose, who is their leading scorer.
And you know that when they get to the line, they make them. They're second in the conference in team free throw percentage at 70.5. And interesting enough, normally it's the Beaks who have the better free throw percentage, but they have yet to get to the line. And they're the top free throw shooting team. So there's the first miss, but an offensive rebound. So even when you don't make it, you get a positive outlook on it. Johnson with the turning shot is good. How about the energy for the Panthers? Timeout Beacons.
They cannot be giving the Panthers extra possessions down there. Beaks need to be grabbing some defensive boards to prevent those second chance opportunities.
And what's funny is Hazleton's not on the floor, but you see the Panthers continually attacking the glass. Try and get it inside.
They're rebounding so well, it doesn't matter if they have their biggest guy on the floor or not.
So Beacon's trying to find a way. I mean, obviously here, Max, cleaning up the turnovers, getting a little stronger on defense.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, taking some better shots. They hit 3 threes early on. They need to find some shots that are not threes and are a little bit safer, high percentage shots down low. They've got the best center in the league, in my opinion, and they're not using it to their advantage.
Panthers right now on a 9-0 run in the last 2 minutes. Lorquette poked from behind, stolen by Beausset. Now here goes Thomas. Chance for Marsh, goes back to Beausset. Now to Thomas. Beausset to Johnson, to Thomas, swinging it around the perimeter. A lot of movement off the ball here. Marsh driving, gets it to Thomas for three. Off the mark, and there's McKenzie fighting for the rebound. And he draws the first foul on Plymouth State on the rebound.
That was good. A board for McKenzie and draws the foul. That's a very positive result for the Beacons. And now they want to turn this possession into points because they have not scored in a few minutes now.
Yeah, it's been about 3 minutes since the last field goal. It was a Manny Zayas three-pointer. Here's Olivier Rodriguez. Off the mark, Lorquette trying to save the rebound, and he cannot.
If I'm the coach of the Beacons right now, I want to see a good shot down low in the paint. I know we can hit the threes. We've hit a few, but we're wasting possessions at this point. Let's see one that is nice and easy. Get down low to Lorquette. Now he doesn't have the size advantage anymore, but he is still so powerful down there. You want to see him with an opportunity.
Now Thomas up on the top to Hazelton, who checked back in. Back to Thomas. Thomas working on the smaller Zayas. Oh, backdoor. And Dean tried to get it to Hazelton. Now Dean will take a three. Off the mark, and McKenzie chases the rebound. Here's now McKenzie. Three-point attempt goes in, out, and in again for Connor Walden. Freshman from Marshfield, Mass, getting some playing time here.
Connor Walden has had an incredible stretch the last couple weeks. And despite the rough record for the Beacons, he has been contributing on offense and defense as a freshman who did not play at all really early on in the season.
Beautiful play there by Beausset. Stretched out arm, makes the layup. 16-12 now the score. There's Lorquette, fakes the handoff now to Zayas. Zayas using the Lorquette screen. Gets it to Lorquette, down low, goes strong in the glass, and a foul gets called as it was Thomas who was challenging him. And now the Beaks are going to get their first set of free throws of the afternoon.
Malik Lorquette in conference play is making 62% of his free throws, a big up from his out-of-conference free throw percentage, which was lacking a little bit. So not a bad person to have at the free throw line right now. You want your leading scorer out there for sure.
Lorquette is coming off a 20-point, 10-rebound game in the loss to UMass Dartmouth. He was 7 of 16 from the field, 6 of 8 from the free throw line. But you mentioned it, he's top 5 in scoring, top 10 in field goal percentage, top 3 in rebounds, and top 3 in blocks. So Lorquette goes 1 of 2, makes it a 3-point game in favor of the Panthers. Thomas goes to Hazelton. You know what's interesting about the play strategy? Everyone's on the perimeter. No one's inside, so it leaves a lot of movement, and I think that's what is holding up the Beaks right now on defense.
I think so, too. I think they would prefer if they had players camped out down in the paint to play a little zone defense, but a lot of movement.
That shot was tipped, and Lorquette has the possession. Now Zayas bringing it up the floor. Gets it to Lorquette. He's going to drive, and look out below Malik Lorquette. He didn't want the massage. He wanted the facial on Avery Hazelton.
How about that for the first non-3-point field goal of the game? Malik Lorquette has had enough. He went almost 9 minutes without scoring. He was not going to go one more second. A hammer poster dunk on on Hazel, and oh my goodness.
Now the rebound to McKenzie. And that just lit a fire into this crowd. Here goes Lorquette again. He's able to get it to Walden. Now back to McKenzie. Here's Lorquette. He's got some space with a handoff to Zayas. Got to try and gather everyone's breath. That just took everyone's breath away. Zayas using the screen. Now here's McKenzie. Backs it out. 5 on the shot clock. He's going to drive. Trying to get some space. Heavy pressure from Thomas. He does get the shot off. It won't count, though. And off the foot of Rachi. McKenzie with a loose ball. Here's Olivier Rodriguez. No. Hazelton on the rebound. Here's Rachi again. Heavy pressure from Hazleton. He loses the handle. Gets it back. And Plymouth State is going to take a timeout here. So let's not just set it up. Let's go right into that replay of Malik Lorquette. An absolute beautiful, I mean, could you say play of the year?
It's the best play I've seen this year, easily. Unreal. Skies over the much taller defender and throws it down. That is unbelievable. Malik Lorquette has athleticism that you would never know. At 6'4", kind of unsuspecting. You're surprised he's even playing center, but he has the ups to just yam on anybody. And if you wanted a momentum swing, there's your momentum swing, because it feels like it's all Beacons now, even though they still trail by 1 point. Well, that was a huge swing.
Lorquette did not care about 6'9" looking at him right in the face. He saw the lane, and he just put his head down and decided to go to the rim.
He gets frustrated when he can't score, and it showed on that play. He wanted that yam, and he got it.
So Plymouth State took a timeout after that loose ball. I think very, very smart timeout, I should say, from the head coach of Plymouth State, Andrew Novick. He saw sort of gathered position. And it looks like we have our producers also on camera, Michael Vesky. He's got pictures of the face of the dunk, which I'm sure we're bound to see at halftime, and it's going to be all over social media.
No doubt. Mike loves to have some fun on the Instagram. We are going to see that for the next week. That is going to be in every highlight reel he makes.
Here's Bose, extra pass, three-point attempt for Johnson, no. And a loose ball foul is going to go on Menard. McKenzie looked like had one of his arms grabbed as he was going for the rebound.
And now you build on it. Now you build on that momentum, because it feels like it's all Beacons, but they still trail by 1, so they want to swing this lead to a 1 or perhaps a 2-point lead for them. Feel good about the lineup they have out there. This is their second with Ikalua and Xavier McKenzie on.
Here goes Zayas looking for Lorquette down low. And there's McKenzie cutting in. Good block there by, I think that was Walsh. Lorquette gets it blocked.
A lot of contact.
Third attempt, no. Fourth attempt, no. McKenzie tries again, and there's a foul.
They were just going to keep on trying until they finally blew the whistle. There was a lot of contact. Hard to say if any of them were fouls, but that last one got the whistle.
There were a lot of shot attempts, but you saw in the first shot attempt, the idea is to have a flasher on defense bring the double team to Lorquette. Absolutely. And McKenzie with the heads-up play cutting in from the weak side.
Yep, he found a soft spot in the defense, and through the contact, now gets a pair of free throws.
So McKenzie, we mentioned it, the second leading scorer on the team for UMass Boston. He knocks down the first one on the year. McKenzie is a 74% free throw shooter. And he goes 2 of 2 to tie this game back up at 16. Now, McKenzie will get a well-deserved rest. Bobby Joy coming back in, as we're past the halfway mark here from Clark Athletic Center Gymnasium. Beacons bringing a full court press. Burris now guarding Bose. Over to Rachi. And, Alua went for the steal. Dean gathers it. He drives. Layup off the mark. Wanted a foul. Zayas back the other way.
Ikalua now. He's dangerous in the lane.
And he's able to draw the fouls. He's going to get himself into the line. And it looks like, you mentioned if you were the head coach, Jason Harris, you have to think, he said, keep attacking. Keep attacking the bucket and don't be afraid of the size that, or whatever defense Plymouth State brings up.
Absolutely. I think they were fooled a little bit by the size of Plymouth State. I think UMass Boston State has the advantage in physicality. I think we can see that just from Malik Lorquette, but from the guys around him as well. There should be no hesitation to drive to the hoop, because that's the best shot they're going to get all day.
Ikalua is the 5th leading scorer for UMass Boston, averaging a little over 6.5 points per game. He is an 83% free throw shooter. He goes 2 for 2. Getting quick subs in. Thomas, ahead to Menard. Menard with the double team.
Swarming defense.
And a jump ball is called. You're seeing the intensity here for both sides on defense. They're not afraid to get up in each other's grill and just play some heavy physical defense, as you said.
I think there's some frustration here for the Beacons, and not the start they were looking for, and now on defense playing some aggressive but not too aggressive. You don't want to give too many fouls, but definitely getting some much-needed stops here.
Dean going to Bose in the post, working against Burris. Turns, fires away. Off the mark, Ilua grabs the rebound.
That was strong defense from Tommy Burris to shut down the Plymouth State leading scorer right there. Wasn't going to give Bose an easy one.
Dias was looking for Burris on the no-looker. Lorquette turns, fires off the glass.
And we see him do big slam dunks, but he is just as good with that little turn, knock it down, bank up the backboard. Nice easy shot, good for two.
And a reach-in foul on Ilua.
And that's the over-aggressive defense that comes sometimes with playing strong defense. You sometimes get the fouls.
It's the second personal to go on Ilua. He was guarding Thomas there. We mentioned Plymouth State went on a 9-0 run. Now it's the Beacons who are on a little bit of a run here. This is Rachi.
Tommy Burris once again tasked with Bose.
And do we have a loose ball foul? We do. They're going to go against Bobby Joy? It is. Yeah, Beacons right now with their own 9-0 run. Panthers haven't scored in about 4 minutes. A little over 4 minutes, so they're looking for some points. And Bose can't make it happen with that baseline, Jay.
More good defense. Bose having a rough day so far. The defense is finding ways to stop him. They knew to look for him coming into the game, I'm sure.
Swinging it around, Olivier Rodriguez. Now to Burris in the corner. He goes cross court to Walden. He's going to shoot the three off the mark. And Rodriguez is right there, tipped to Walden.
Right place, right time for Connor Walden. Grabs a nice offensive rebound and a really easy putback when you're that tall.
And funny, Connor Walden standing at 6'7", the freshman from Marshfield, but he's playing exactly how you'd want a stretch four to be, as Bose off on the deep three.
He provides something really interesting because he's got great shooting, but he's also the tallest guy on the roster, I believe. So he provides just pretty much every 1 through 5 position that he can run.
Burris gets it out to Lorquette, working against Bose on the isolation. Extra pass, Walden again, top of the key, off the mark. And it's going to go the way of Plymouth State. Looked like Olivier Rodriguez got a hand on that rebound. Another timeout taken. As I think we're all still up here flabbergasted by that dunk. It was 5 minutes ago.
I'm trying to talk about what's going on the court, but I'm still thinking about the dunk. It's the kind of thing that sticks with you, I think. But that was a swinging point for them, for momentum. I think Plymouth State hasn't scored since then. I don't think so. So that was huge for momentum and to give the Beacons just a spark on offense that they needed, and then it carried over to defense.
So 23-16, we mentioned it. Panthers haven't scored now in over 5 minutes of game action. It's a 9-0 run here for the Beaks, and I think it was all about that adjustment. After that first timeout, it was almost like, as you said, they were a little surprised that the size that Plymouth State had wasn't as physical. They know, in their eyes, they have the physical advantage.
Absolutely. I think they got fooled a little bit by size. I think we're all intimidated by size a little bit, but clearly, like, UMass Boston has some strong, experienced players, and they're showing it right now. They're playing great defense. Defense has been the key. I mean, the offense is picking up, but on defense, Tommy Burris, Mariano Olivier Rodriguez, guys who haven't been contributing as much on offense are taking care of business on defense.
Panthers looking for some kind of answer. They are still keeping it close despite the fact they haven't scored in quite a bit of time. Swinging it around the perimeter, Rachi now to Dean. Dean trying to turn in. And you see they're trying to get those size advantages. Saw Dean try and work against Zayas, but not giving an inch. Lorquette, behind the back save, but no one was there. Thomas for three. Off the mark there for Rachi. And a loose ball foul. Is he going to go against Zayas? Oh, it's going against Plymouth State. It's going to go against Dean.
That's a tough one. That's about a toss-up because they were both moving with strong momentum and crashed into each other going for the loose ball.
The second personal to go for Alex Dean. Just looking at team fouls right now, 6 for Plymouth State, 5 for UMass Boston. Both teams in danger of the penalty. You saw Walden try to go over the top for Lorquette. Stolen. Bose to Thomas. Back to Dean. Back to Thomas. He's open for three. And he knocks it down. First field goal in about 6 minutes for the Panthers, and they make it a 4-point game.
Panthers have been searching for that one for a while, and because they've kept it close on the defensive end, it is still just a 4-point game, like you mentioned.
Lorquette now to Zayas. Gonna do a little two-man game with him and Lorquette. Back to him in the post. Bose turns. Doesn't get the bounce, though. Bose with the rebound. Now the other way. Here comes Galbraith to Thomas. Off on the three. Lorquette with the rebound. Now Zayas backing it out. Here's Walden. Fakes it. Goes down
nice
low
pass.
for Burris. Now wide open is Zayas. And he makes him pay.
Manny's one of the best three-point shooters in the league. You do not want to leave him that wide open because he'll take that.
You saw the defensive strategy there. Try and double and triple team the guys in the post, because the go-to play for the Beacons the last couple of minutes has been get it to the big men in the post.
It is, but if one thing isn't working, the next thing will, and the three-point really worked there.
How about Maxwell Galbraith with the three-pointer? Again, similar to the women's game in that first half. Plymouth State keeping it close. Beacons can't get any kind of edge or gap.
Right.
And an offensive foul. It's going to go against Olivier Rodriguez. And that's now 16 fouls apiece.
Sort of discussion going on here.
Oh, it looks like it's not Olivier Rodriguez. They're saying it's
Manny
Zayas picks up the foul. So little miscommunication there. Someone added an extra one.
Mariana had the ball, so I'm not sure exactly how he was going to be called for an offensive foul. I think they saw the one and thought 11.
By the way, that's the 7th team turnover for UMass Boston here. That's roughly half of their season average. Here's Bose looking for space. He gets the hand off to Thomas. Thomas driving in, and another foul called on Zayas. Looks like he grabbed a little bit of arm there. And so Zayas is at, I think that's 2 personal fouls. So he's going to know that's 3 personal fouls for Zayas. So already in foul trouble is the sharpshooting guard.
That's troubling because he is just about the most clutch player on their roster. He's the kind of person you want to have on the court down late if this game stays close.
So Bobby Joy does check in. They are in the bonus, so it would be free throws nonetheless. Is it 1 or is it 2 is the question. Not sure exactly what the refs are discussing with head coach Jason Harris. Quite sure what is.
What's the discussion?
Olivier Rodriguez just got taken out. Maybe like an illegal substitution, maybe something like that.
Huh.
Not sure. I'm sure we'll get some confirmation at halftime.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Ty Thomas at the line trying to shrink this lead. It is a 1-and-1, so it wasn't a shooting foul. And Ilua comes in and pays dividends with a rebound.
Ilua has that reach that he can grab really any rebound over anybody because his vertical jump is impressive.
Down low, Lorquette. Extra pass, Ilua, and a travel called as he wanted the baseline drive.
That's been an issue for the Beacons so far today. Just starting before we stop and getting ahead of ourselves with our feet here.
That's 8 turnovers now for the Beaks. They are shooting 38% from the field, 55% from 3. But it's those little ones, those turnovers, coming back to bite them so far. Bose fakes the step back, now drives, gets the pass, floater, gets the bounce.
That was an impressive move from the leading scorer. Passes up a 3, gets the ball to his teammate, gets into open space, and makes an adjustment midair. That was an impressive bucket from Bose.
Tell you what, I haven't done many games for UMass Boston, but the Panthers have to be one of the best teams that move without the ball.
Oh, easily.
Burris off on the 3. Here comes Bose. He's going to pull up. That's a 2-pointer. Off the mark, Lorquette grabs the rebound. Now McKenzie going back to Bobby Joy.
Bobby Joy is dangerous with the ball in his hands. He hasn't had it much, but he's a player to watch on the perimeter.
It's a 10-3 run right now for Plymouth State. McKenzie, fancy finish there.
What an adjustment midair by Xavier McKenzie. He first of all got the ball to Malik and then got into open space, and then in midair, just like Bosé did on the last possession, changes it, double clutches off the backboard. That was a beautiful lay for X.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go here in the first half. 4-point lead for the Beacons. Over to Johnson. Johnson right at the free throw line off the mark. Rebound is gathered by Ilua. Goes ahead to Joy. Oh, some good passing here. Lorquette in the paint. Turns off the mark. Lorquette fairly quiet since that big dunk. Bosé. Lorquette with 5 points on the afternoon. Bosé trying to get through, looking for a call. Not going to get it.
Bobby Joy serving as a point guard with Manny Zayas off the court.
There's Ilua and another travel.
Once again, he's having issues with that. Once again, just moving before his feet are set. And a couple travel calls just the last minute.
So a timeout taken here by Plymouth State. So not the best start that the Beacons want to have, but they still lead up 4. Let's look at that finish again by Xavier McKenzie. Just as you said, the mid-air adjustment.
And this is really impressive because he's a freshman. This is his first year playing college hoops, and the pass to Malik finds an open lane, and then with a couple guys in his way, could have got fouled if he had gone straight up, but he opts to swing it around, and a really nice layup off the backboard. Xavier McKenzie is quite the scorer.
And you have to think with the way the defense is, Plymouth State is playing Lorquette, it's emphasizing how good of a passer that he really is.
Absolutely. I mean, Malik can do anything on the court. Often, teams aren't able to shut him down like Plymouth State has so far. And we'll see how long that goes on. But early, they've been able to keep him off the boards a little bit, keep him from scoring. But he's so good at anything on the basketball court that he's going to do something to make a difference.
So we got 2.5 minutes to go here. Again, it's a 4-point lead for the Beacons. Meanwhile, we got to congratulate within the conference Keene State. Keene State is currently number 6 in D3 Hoops Poll. It's unbelievable what the Owls have been able to do this season.
I saw them when they came here, and it's incredible. I mean, our team didn't look bad, but they just looked better. And Keene State, coming out of the LEC, representing well, they are a national powerhouse.
Now Bosé draws the foul on Burris. Bosé got that offensive rebound. Now here comes more free throws for Kyler Bosé, junior guard from Manchester, New Hampshire. Got some other scores to update on. Got Keene State and Western Connecticut. We mentioned the powerhouse that Keene State is. Mm-hmm. It is currently 44-39. Battle of the first and second place teams in the LEC.
WestCon is really good. You want to talk about Keene State is like national levels good. WestCon's right up there with them.
Meanwhile, also they got the second half underway at Southern Maine between them and UMass Dartmouth. 58-50. UMass Dartmouth leads. And then lastly, Castleton and Eastern Connecticut are taking place. In the second half, it is 35-15, Eastern Connecticut. Lorquette, you saw him drive in there. He drew the foul. So he'll get himself to the line. It's going to be the first personal to go against Hazleton.
Malik getting in the right position. A veteran play. He's really good at drawing those fouls, getting to the free throw line. As we mentioned, he's been better at the free throw line as of late. Not a guy that you want to see.
As of right now, looking at some numbers really quickly. Leading scorer for Plymouth State is obviously Bosé. He's got 8 points.
Bosé is good as
5
advertised.
rebounds.
Well, the Beaks have been able to shut him down at times, but there have been some times where he just makes plays despite the defense. And yeah, good as advertised, number 5.
Bosé coming off a 21-point, 5-rebound, 4-assist performance. in the victory over Castleton this past Wednesday. Under 2 minutes now to go. Lorquette goes 1 of 2 from the line, and the Beacons have a 5-point lead here. Jose goes down low to Hazelton. Hazelton trying to muscle his way through and one. And there's the first effects of the 6'9" center that we've seen in the afternoon.
That was a really tough bucket for the tallest player on the court. He made a play that nobody else could probably make with Malik Lorquette defending them.
Lorquette picked up his first personal, and now Hazelton will have a 3-point play opportunity here.
Closing
and I gotta say, the officiating has been a little bit tight here for two teams. A lot of free throw attempts.
It has.
On both sides. Just doing the math real quick in my head. Panthers are now 6 of 10. Beacons are 6 of 8.
And these are two of the better free throw shooting teams in the conference.
Number 1 and number 2.
Exactly. So, that makes a difference because they're going to make a lot of their free throws once they get there.
There's Lorquette trying to muscle his way in, and he gets the and one.
He gets his own. So Hazelton got a bucket and one on him. Malik with the chance to get a bucket and one back.
It almost looked like the exact same play that Hazelton did on the other end. Kind of muscle his way through, fit it into that tight window. We'll see if Lorquette can complete the 3-point play.
Very similar. A veteran center versus a rookie center. Veteran's got to show him how it's done every once in a while.
Ike Lua comes back in. Final 90 seconds here of the first half. It's a 5-point lead for UMass Boston. Again, started slow. Panthers went on a 9-0 run. Beacons went on a 9-0 run. And right now, it's a +5 advantage for UMass Boston. Bose drawing up the offense. Goes to Dean. Dean, baseline J, off the mark. And Lorquette gets the miss. Here goes Joy. The handoff, Lorquette. He's going to drive in. I think he was expecting some contact. And Olivier Rodriguez lost the handle as he was going to the floor. You saw Lorquette there with a head full of steam. Hazelton kind of just backed up a little bit. I think he was expecting the contact to try and finish it.
Definitely. I think you're expecting Malik Lorquette to be playing angry, but even when he's angry, he's playing smart. He has his head on his shoulders at all times, and he knows what he's doing at that down low post.
Final minute here. Rachi gets it over to Thomas and back to Bose. Bose deep in the half court. Now goes to Dean. Dean directing traffic. Bose, baseline drive. A little adjustment is good. It looks like right at the last second, he went into the paint for that little midair adjustment.
Yep. He's so good with those adjustments, floating while in the air, changing his hand position to get the bucket.
So shot clock and game clock difference right at about a second and a half. Beaks are going to try and take it as far down as possible. McKenzie using the double screen. 5 on the shot clock. McKenzie now is going to drive. Stop, fade away. No good. Lorquette with the tip-in at the buzzer, and they say no. UMass saying it counted. And they count the basket.
There it is. That's a big way to end the half with the call going your way, and Malik Lorquette proving that he is going to do exactly what he's going to do whoever you throw at him, and he gets that putback. And still a big first half for the big man. Despite the struggles with the taller Hazelton, he still looks like Malik Lorquette.
So instead of a 3-point lead, it is a 5-point lead, and looking at the coaching staff of Plymouth State right now, they are not happy. We'll have more discussion to go through on halftime. Let's take a look at that replay one more time. We'll see the tip-in, and we'll see if it looked like it counted right at the buzzer. Take a look at this. I think maybe the question was the shot clock, maybe, if it had wind down.
Tough to say. It's a close one, for sure.
Yeah, definitely close.
Regardless, Beaks get a bucket, up 5 going into halftime. That's huge.
So instead of a 3-point lead, it's a 5-point lead. As we mentioned, 34-29 at the half. We're going to take a short break. We'll get you your halftime stats, your game leaders, and some more action around the LEC. Stay with us. It's the Beacons and the Panthers, with the Beacons up 5.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love. Passion is love for what you do. Because I think when you face challenges, it comes down to how much you want it and how much you love it. Passion is what keeps you going forward. Seeing so many people that were like-minded and so hardworking in their sport and academics, being surrounded by like-minded people makes you want to be more passionate. I think it pushes you to a different level that maybe you didn't think you had. And you can do the best of both worlds and love all of it.
Proportion to me is the lived experience of our Division III student athletes. They balance life from an academic perspective and the rigors of competing at a high level, bonding with teammates and building lifelong friendships. But they also are involved in their communities. They work jobs and internships and volunteer. They've learned to be resilient. Diverse experiences are setting them up for the future.
Passion's love.
The 5-campus UMass system is the university that educates the workforce.
Back at the Clark Athletic Center Gymnasium. We're at halftime right now. And, it looks like... Okay, so this is confusing. We're at halftime, but apparently there's been a changing on the court. It looks like there's...
Took the bucket off.
The scoreboard says there's 0.7 on the clock and that the bucket was taken off. Let's see if we can see that replay one more time. I think the question has been with the shot clock. Let's take a look at it one more time.
So you got shot clock ends there. It's like as it's touching his hand. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a referee, but that's as close as.
Is there a foul? Maybe. Not sure exactly what it was.
Not from X. Him out. It's after the shot clock went off.
I'm sure we'll get some kind of explanation, but not sure what the ruling would be because it hit the rim, and the shot clock that would have turned off the shot clock.
Right.
So then with 0.7, Loquette still had time to tip it in, which it did, unless they're maybe calling a goaltend. Offensive interference. Not quite sure. I'm sure once we officially hit halftime, we get the official.
They don't have the replay technology that we do. I'm not sure what's convincing them to.
So I guess there was an inadvertent whistle is the explanation.
Huh.
So there's going to be 0.7 on the clock. We just heard it on the speaker. UMass Boston will get the possession on the inadvertent whistle. 0.7 on the shot clock. So there's still a chance to make it a 5-point lead heading into halftime. But a very interesting turn of events.
Confusing result. It's always odd when they send the teams to the locker room and then bring them back out. And really.
Well, let's see what happens.
Really
Lewis tried to go down low. Low for Larquette, and now it's going to be Plymouth State ball as they knocked it away. Now they're going to have to go a long way to get a shot off. 0.3 here in the back. And they're just going to let the clock go out. So. What an interesting turn of events there. We go from a 5-point lead to both teams going to the locker room, thinking it's halftime, 34-29, but instead it is 32-29. Beacon still lead, but an interesting way to end the half. And I don't know, does that get into the psyche, possibly, of UMass ball?
I don't see how it wouldn't. That's just a truly odd thing for them to do, to have them go into the locker room thinking they have a 5-point lead, come back out with a 3-point lead, and then not get that bucket back. That's got to be frustrating for them. And again, a 3-point game at half. This is not what the Beacons were looking.
Well, now we've got to make some adjustments to the halftime stats because we
Add
have
one
another
turnover.
So I'm sure we could put it up and just say, hey, instead of whatever turnover you have for UMass Boston, just +1 on
Add
it.
one,
So,
yeah.
So that's what we're going to tell to our viewers right now. All the stats right now are about 95% accurate.
Yes.
Except for the .7 that was on the clock. Luckily, there was no shot or whatever.
Right, that's about all we had time for.
All right, so here are your halftime stats right there. And speaking of turnovers, we mentioned it. It says 10. It's really 11. That is the biggest glaring issue right now for UMass Boston. They average coming into today 14 per game as a team. They've already got 11 here in the first half.
It's a big issue, and a lot of them are unforced errors. A few travel calls, giving the ball back to the Panthers for no reason at all, playing sloppy with the ball. They're not getting the looks that they want on offense. Really at all. They've had some shining moments, but a 3-point lead, like I mentioned, not what they wanted to see against a team that's near the bottom of the league, but is playing well above their record right now.
And looking at it right now, they're shooting 38% from the floor. The offensive numbers seem completely fine. It's just those turnovers that they really have to clean up. And defensively, I mean, look at the percentage. 50%. Panthers, and they're just Panthers. I don't know what it is about Plymouth State. No matter where they are in the standings, they continue to hang around, just in all their sports.
Absolutely. We knew this was going to happen. This was a team that really wants to get a win, is fighting for their playoff lives, and also just, is playing better basketball now. So we were expecting something good from them, and the Beacons playing a little below their pay grade right now. Not quite matching up with the Panthers the way they want to. Still a 3-point lead, but it's tighter than they wanted it.
So we gave you our LEC scoreboard update a little bit ago. We had a couple of finals, but we do have a couple of more updates on all the games. We mentioned Keene State, Western Connecticut, battle of 1 versus 2 in the LEC. They kicked off at 3. They're in halftime, or they're just starting the second half. And Keene State opened up a 10-point lead, 49-39, over on Western Connecticut State. So that's a battle of who's getting home court throughout the playoffs. So then you've got also UMass, Dartmouth, and Southern Maine. We mentioned them a little bit. It's close now. Second half, about 10 minutes to go, 68-65, UMass Dartmouth on top. And then our final game, Castleton, Eastern Connecticut. It is currently 49-27 with Eastern Connecticut State on top. So again, there's a lot of shuffling that can go on in the standings because, I mean, I'm looking at the standings right now. You got Keene State, Western Connecticut right there at 1 and 2, and then it's just a jumbled mess when you look at 3 through 7.
It is. Anything could shake out with the rest of the seeding, and UMass Boston leading the pack at the moment, but they need to keep winning to maintain that position within the standings.
Yeah, just going on the standings right now. Entering today, UMass Boston holding the tiebreaker over Southern Maine at 6 and 5. Eastern Connecticut, half a game behind at 6 and 6. UMass Dartmouth 5 and 6, and then 4 and 8 for Rhode Island College. So, as you said, this stretch is huge for UMass Boston. I mean, you hate to be dropped 3 straight games at the time that they're at right now with the playoff push.
Absolutely, yeah. They need to pick it up and get a dub here to get things moving in the right direction because we are heading for the playoffs. They are going to be in the playoffs. They would love a home playoff game, and they would just love to be on a winning streak going in because that is much better for your mentals than coming in, losing a few conference games, not looking like yourselves. Right now, this second half, they want to pick it up. They want to come out of the second half strong. Forget about that weird last play, whatever that was. Go on a big run here. Prove that you're more physical, smarter, more experienced than the Panthers.
So we've got about 10 minutes to go before the second half gets underway. We'll take a break. We'll come back to the Clark Athletic Center Gymnasium in just a few moments. 32-29 Beacons on top at half.
Responsibility is being accountable for your words and actions, first and foremost. It also is an obligation to be a positive influence in the communities around you. Being in a D3 program, you're going to have lots of different opportunities. You're not just an athlete, you're also involved in student life. Your academics are extremely important. We give a lot of our student athletes responsibilities right from the start by giving them leadership opportunities, by having them engage in the community, be a positive influence. That's being a responsible person.
I believe sportsmanship is it's a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
Comprehensive learning is being able to adapt to experiences and apply the things that I learned. Being an athlete and juggling academics helped me grow as a person, and things that I've learned, I was able to apply it in another field, putting them into everyday life. Developing comprehensive learning helped me prioritize certain things to make sure I get to where I want to be.
Paris changed my life, and I got there through UMass. Those very specific seminal moments in Paris, the subway. A man in a tuxedo walked in, and a woman in a long gown, and it was stunning. It all hit me. It was like a lightning bolt. There was this world of beauty and style that I wanted to be a part of. That was the beginning of the journey, and that all came through the University of Massachusetts. And that was really a key moment for me. That's one of those moments you never forget.
Celebrate the soggy shoes and the slow starts. Celebrate the lessons learned along the way. These are the wins. Not the shiny, nail-biting kind. These are the last a lifetime kind.
Something I discovered in myself is that if I have a goal, I can accomplish it.
It's a well-rounded experience.
At a Division III school, you're primarily a student athlete, so the school is really shaped around you developing yourself as a complete individual.
It helps a lot that you have a family with your team that can guide you.
I just wanted to get good grades and to do well. But it also made me realize that I have a lot of career goals.
You're there to get a full college experience, not only participate in your sport, but participate in things outside of that, and it's all about growing as a person.
My coaches have helped me with figuring out who I really am. Their lives are dedicated for us to succeed.
Being a part of the different activities and organizations that I've been a part of, I'm actually able to see myself where I'm like, hey, I actually can make a change. I'm one person that can make a difference.
Division III has helped me to develop teamwork skills, critical thinking skills, time management skills.
It's not just about basketball, or it's not just about school, it's about developing yourself as a person altogether.
I'm the first undergraduate alumnus to lead this university. I'm very proud of that. I was literally able to transform my life because of the University of Massachusetts, and I want that for every single student that walks through the door.
College has given me the flexibility to pursue my passions and my interests, and I've recreated my identity for myself aside from just being an athlete.
My greatest personal discovery has been that I am capable of doing things that I didn't know I was capable of doing.
To be able to study what I wanted to and continue to play the sport I love, all of those things came together very nicely in one package in Division III.
I did receive a non-athletic scholarship upon entering school.
I got the presidential scholarship, which was huge for me.
I think there's more opportunities for academic scholarships in Division III.
I did receive academic scholarships. Just being involved on campus, being a leader, all those things combined kind of get me recognized. It's a great experience for me.
Cheer for the stumbles. The he shoulda had that's. And the tears that linger. For in those moments, greatness lies. There, you will find the provoked, the determined, the unified. It's in those moments that champions are born.
The University of Massachusetts Boston, with its scenic oceanfront campus, easily accessible to downtown Boston, is recognized as a model of excellence for urban public universities. 16 NCAA Division III sports are part of the more than 100 student organizations that create an engaging campus life in America's biggest and best college town. UMass Boston, Boston's urban public research university for the 21st century.
Division III allows you to give yourself to other things.
Having that free time allows me to pursue the things that I want to pursue.
Division III athletics affords students the opportunity to, engage in the other interests in their campus and in their lives outside of that sport.
It allows you to just be able to do everything you want to do. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Moving from Turkey, it was a rough journey for me because when you don't really speak the language that well and when you don't really fit in the crowd, it's very easy to disappear. But I decided not to give up, and UMass helped me.
UMass Boston was my first choice because when I came to the campus, I saw that there was a lot of diversity, there's a lot of people. Here there's a lot of international students, so it's really cool to meet people from different countries, different parts of the world. I'm Julia Murphy, I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
I'm Olivia Murphy, I'm from Canton, Massachusetts.
We're sisters.
We're sisters.
I play volleyball and she plays basketball. Here they have a freshman success community. So each major has their own community that you can join as a freshman, and you take classes with them, you do study groups with them. So it was really helpful getting to know people in your major right away.
So in health exercise sciences, we have an internship at the end, so it's so much better to have an advisor helping you out, telling you which classes to choose.
People at UMass Boston, they're here because they know they can have an impact, not just on research, but on people, on their students.
This is just a starting point. It only has potential to grow, and it has a big potential to grow up.
You're really having a direct impact on people's lives, and you can see that now, and you can see that years from now.
So I think it's becoming like the place that people want to go.
What UMass Boston is able to offer.
Back here at the Clark Athletic Center Gymnasium, about to begin the second half between the Beacons and the Panthers, 32-29. Joe Braverman, Max Clifford once again. Max, we talked about numbers and strategy and all that, but you can't talk about the first half without talking about a certain play that Malik Lorquette made under the basket.
It was the best play I've seen all year, easily, and it just goes to show how freakishly athletic Malik Lorquette is. 6'4", 215 pounds. He's not imposing. He's not the biggest center out there, but there's a reason he puts up the crazy numbers that he does, and it's because he is so athletic. He gets to the right place at the right time, and he does stuff like this. We're going to show it right now. You're not going to see that at the D3 level very often. Malik Lorquette is a special talent, man.
I was doing all halftime after the chaos or whatever. I was trying to sprint to find our producer, Mike. Submit that to ESPN. Submit that to SportsCenter.
Absolutely.
That can make a list.
Absolutely. This was unreal. I mean, you're not going to find 10 better plays than that in the sports world today, because Malik Lorquette, I mean, if you search hard enough, but Malik Lorquette showing out just unreal athleticism from him, and a poster dunk that he will remember for a long time.
You know what the beneficiary of that he can get higher on the list is? There's no hockey game.
That's right.
There's no NHL game, so there's an opportunity to
no NFL
be higher than
either.
usual. So exactly. So there is an opportunity.
Yes.
There's an opportunity. So
show a little love.
We'll try. We'll track down Mike and we'll try and submit it. Meanwhile, as we get into game action, it was a chaotic end of that first half. There was a tip in by Malik Lorquette that didn't go down, and it did go down, and it was a lot of chaos. But in the end, the halftime score is 32-29.
Right. So through all that excitement, through all the backs and forths, Beacons only lead by 3 points. So this has got to be a big second half for them. They want to pull away from this team because, like we've talked about, they're more physical, they're more experienced, they are maybe a little faster, a little whatever you want to say. they're expected to win this game, and they're expecting themselves to have a big second half out of the halftime break.
So here's Bobby Joy with the first shot, no good. Lorquette with the turn, rattles in and out. Third time's a charm for Olivier Rodriguez.
Olivier Rodriguez, used to seeing him out on the perimeter making big jumpers, but that was a nice little putback from him down low. Right place, right time for number 11.
Getting some big numbers here. Beacons shooting on the day 39%. Plymouth State shooting 30% heading into halftime. How about Hazleton? Big man three, no. Olivier Rodriguez with a rebound.
They'll let him shoot that. Not that he can't make it, but he hasn't made it yet. And they'd rather have him out there than down low.
Leading scorer is Malik Lorquette. He's got 11 points and 7 rebounds on 4 of 12 shooting. And he almost had 13. He's going to try for it again. He gets blocked, and he draws the foul.
Sometimes that's the only way to stop him. Send him to the line.
He'll get his 6th and 7th attempts of the day. Meanwhile, leading scorer for Plymouth is Kyler Bosset. 10 points on 4 of 11 shooting, 5 rebounds.
Leading scorers on the season doing what they do and leading scoring.
And this is a Beacons team that lost 3 straight, 4 out of their last 5, so they're looking somehow to break the skid. And we talked about it during halftime. It's so tight within 3rd through 7th place of the LEC that you need as much breathing room as possible.
Absolutely. And this game, it really does matter for both teams. We've mentioned it. Playoff seeding, just morale, basically. Both these teams have had their struggles. Beacons more recently than Panthers. They want to see a win today.
So a friendly roll there for Lorquette. He goes 1 of 2. He gets that lead to 6. There's Hazleton on the perimeter. Gets it out to Bosset. Now to Dean. Swinging it around to Menard. He goes back to Dean. Dean trying to spin into the paint. Goes to Menard, fakes the 3. Now he's going to do a baseline drive. Down low, Hazleton lost the handle, and a steal by Manny Zayas.
Gonna slow it down. Don't want to run too fast. Don't want to get into a 1-on-4 type of situation.
And Zayas, remember, we didn't see a lot from him. He's got 3 personal fouls. Here's Lorquette again.
There it is.
Seems like that's been the strategy. Early timeout here from Plymouth State. And you're seeing the strategy early on here in the second half. Lorquette, he's given the space. He's just going to charge right in. He's going to try and use his speed and his strength against the centers, whoever they throw out.
Hazleton backing down a little bit. That experience of Malik showing, and Hazleton got yammed on in the first half, if you recall. So he doesn't want to see Malik all over him again. He's a little bit hesitant to challenge Malik because he also doesn't want to foul him either.
So timeout here by Plymouth. A quick 5-0 run here in the first minute and a half or so by the Beaks. Again, Plymouth State, we mentioned the playoff side for the Beaks. How about the Panthers? They're sitting in 8th place right now. They're a game and a half back of last place. So much like the women's game, there's still a chance, but they have to win out.
Absolutely, yes. They need to do everything right down the stretch. They can't stumble or fall. Look, clearly they're a team that's playing better than their record, but I think closing out games has been a struggle for them, and the Beacons have been great clutch performers. We talked about we haven't seen much from Manny Zayas yet. Expect to see more of him because down late, he is one of the best players in the league at hitting big shots.
Yeah. Beacons shooting 2 of 5 here to start the second half. Shooting 37.5% overall. How about this? A little full court press action here for UMass Boston.
They're not afraid to be aggressive. They're a good defensive team, and Plymouth State takes their time getting across the timeline here.
Heavy pressure from Burris, but Menard gets it over. Now the handoff to Rachi. See what the Panthers can do here to answer. Still looking for that first bucket. I think Zayas inadvertently got a hand on it. Bobby Joy just gets it to Zayas, and the Beacons are running. Zayas goes to Joy. Joy gets it to Burris. 3-pointer from the elbow. Got it.
Bang. Tommy Burris can do a lot of things. We saw him play some great defense early in the first half. I don't think he had a single point in the first half, but there he goes, going off from 3. He's taller than you'd expect from a 3-point shooter, but he can really hit from downtown.
No answer there from Menard. Burris, you mentioned it, just a little under 5 points a game, and he's inserted himself into a key part of the rotation since those injuries, as you mentioned. Olivier Rodriguez off the mark.
Tommy Burris, an underrated member of this rotation because he doesn't put up big numbers. Every once in a while he will have a big game, but he just does the little things right, and he's part of that defensive prowess that is just, it's unbeatable.
Ooh, Menard with a tough finish on the layup. He gets it to go. Beacons did have their largest lead a moment ago at 11. It's now at 9. There's Lorquette trying to muscle his way in.
Using that reach to grab the ball. Receiver mossing a cornerback. And the only way to stop him once again is to foul him. Working out pretty well because he's not making all of his free throws so far today.
Use a little bit of a Euro step there also to get to the bucket. So Lorquette heading to the line. Mentioned all the great numbers he's had. He's top 5 in scoring, top 10 in field goal percentage. Free throws have been a little bit suspect as he knocks down the first, as you mentioned earlier today.
It's probably the weakest part of his game, but if you give him enough, he's going to rack up some points regardless.
Lorquette is now 5 of 8, makes it 6 of 9 from the field. Or free throw line, I should say. He's already got a double-double, as he mentioned, 14 points. Go along with 12 rebounds. Thomas for Bose. Wanted the 3, now gets it right back. Now the step back on the baseline, doesn't get the roll. There's Lorquette with another rebound.
Lorquette now 17 double-doubles on the season. Ties him for second with his good friend Jared Houston from Emerson. Same city, they played on the same summer camp team, and now they're both getting double-doubles at the D3 level.
And here is Lorquette down low. Baby hook is good.
Big, a tough bucket from Malik Lorquette, and that's where he's best, with the little hook shot just over top of you where you can't reach it.
Panthers trying to go quickly up the floor, and is that on Zayas? It's another foul. If this is on Zayas, this is his 4th personal. It is. And Zayas now with 4 personal fouls is going to have to go to the bench.
I've mentioned it. That is not a player that you want to have on the bench towards the end of the game. He is a really great shooter, especially down in the clutch. Not ideal.
Not only that, but the passing as well. We mentioned it. One of the top players among assists per game. Here's Thomas left alone, and he knocks down the 3. And that is big right there for Ty Thomas. Getting this thing to 10 and still within reach.
That's right. The Panthers just not going away. They played tough all the way to the end of the first half. Still playing tough here in the second, although they have extended the deficit now.
Bobby Joy off the mark on the 3. Loose rebounded.
Oh, what a pass.
Wow. Bobby Joy goes no look to Xavier McKenzie.
Bobby Joy, just another underrated part of this rotation because he has incredible court vision. He can hit the 3 ball. He plays good D.
Here's a steal from Rodriguez. McKenzie goes behind the back to Joy. Now to Lorquette driving. Floater.
Ooh.
Difficult angle. He knocks it down.
No bank necessary. Drops that one right in the bucket, and now he's feeling it. He really is. He had some struggles early in the first half. Now there's no height to match up with him. He loves that.
Now looking for options is Marsh. And Rodriguez almost got the steal. Bose now finds the corner for Menard. Off the mark. Here goes Joy back the other way. Burris has it. Stolen McKenzie, no. And a foul gets called. And the foul will go against Plymouth State. Let's take a look at that pass again one more time.
Yeah.
Bobby Joy going no look on this one.
First.
Yeah, off the missed 3.
Grabs his own rebound, long rebound, and then immediately, as soon as he gets the ball in his hands, sees Xavier McKenzie alone under the basket, and Xavier's so good at finding open space. Bobby flips it over to him. No look, maybe a little look, but not enough look to not be impressed by it. An excellent find down low.
So a timeout was taken by Plymouth State. I was noticing there heading into the break, Bose was kind of favoring his back a little bit.
He was, yeah.
Might have taken a shot maybe to the lower back or something like that.
He did.
He looks to be okay. He's on his feet. He made his way to the bench.
He went down to the floor, but he's looking to be going back into the game. So I'm assuming he's doing all right now. You would hope so at least.
But again, it's kind of similar to the women's game. The Beacons, now for the men's side, are slowly building that lead, and we didn't even know it. Just continually forcing the turnovers and converting baskets out of them.
It's not going to be a fast, quick run up the score real quick. It's going to be slowly. They've held Plymouth State now to just 5 points in over 5 minutes of the second half. They're going to slowly run up this score on you little by little, and eventually it's going to be a big lead if they can keep up this style of play.
By the way, Beacons had a total of, trying to get the turnover numbers here, they had a total of 11 in that first half. So far in the second, a big donut hole. That's
right.
Huge, and you have to think Jason Harris made a big emphasis on that in halftime. Bobby Joy, three-pointer, short. There's Oliver Rodriguez, right place, right time, and he draws the foul. And he'll get himself back to the line.
Plymouth State already racking up 4 fouls here early on, just 1 for the Beacons.
That is the third personal to go on Alex Dean.
That's concerning. That's a big contributor that they do not want to see on the bench.
They've got 2 big contributors now in foul trouble. Obviously, Zayas for the Beak at 4 personally, sitting on the bench. And meanwhile, you got Dean. You got 3 personal fouls. Looks like he's going to remain on the floor. Oh, he's going to get taken out for now. Rachi's going to come back in. These are free throw attempts for the Beacons. 14 and 15, and they have made 12 of them. 12 of 15 from the free throw line.
That's going to be huge going down to the end of the line, because if they're missing the free ones, that's going to be a big strategy for Plymouth State to put them on the line.
Panthers, meanwhile, are 6 and 10. 6 of 10 from the free throw line. Here's Bose. Well, it looks like no concern on that back. Looks like he's playing as well as he did, as a nice pass. Finds Brett McKinley for a three-pointer.
A good spot. He found his spot on the court and had a nice little three. That kind of ends a Beacons run that we were talking about, this slow run that they've been on for a little while now. A little bit of momentum heading back towards Plymouth State, but it's still a 13-point lead.
There's Ilua hanging in the air, off the mark. Tried to tip the rebound, no good. And is this going to be a foul on Ilua? It's like him and Bose were tied up. And it is. It's going to go on Ilua. They'll reset the shot clock. Gary Ilua picking up his 3rd personal. So fouls are racking up, as you mentioned, for UMass Boston as well. Zayas with 4. Ilua now with 3. Inbound goes to Rachi.
That pressure not relenting. You see Bobby Joy face up, not more than a couple feet away from their point guard at any given time.
Goes Rachi. Directing traffic, gets it to Thomas. Thomas gets in there. And are they called a foul? Is this going to be a shooting foul is the question. And no shot, they say. No shot, they say. Thomas on drive. I got to say, Ty Thomas coming off the bench, senior guard from Manchester, he's very quick. I didn't expect him to be so quick, but when you see him on those handoffs and those drives, those moves are just so quick all of a sudden.
Absolutely. It's hard to keep up with, too, and I think it's causing some issues on defense for the Beacons trying to figure out where he's going at any given second.
Here's Bose driving in, hanging, and draws the foul on Lorquette. So Bose trying to, once again, impose his will and get an effect in this game. Lorquette picks up his 2nd personal.
Bose has been able to do, for the most part, whatever he wants. Once they can get the ball in his hands, I think he hasn't had it enough. If I'm the Plymouth State coach, I want to see him handle the ball more.
The current leader right now for Plymouth State, he's got 10 points. Make it 11, knocking down the first one. Got 10 points, 4-12 shooting. He just went 2 of 5. We'll see if he can go 3 of 6. And he does with the friendly bounce. So he's got 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 steals also on that stat line, and he's got the lead for his team from Plymouth State at 11. Here's Ilua. Swinging it around, trying to break the zone D. Ilua long on the three-pointer. Rebound goes to McKinley. So interesting, Beacon switching to his zone defense there.
Ilua got the poke. Fortunate not to get the reach-in call, but ball staying with the Panthers.
Interesting defensive strategy here for the Beaks. They're coming out and playing a 2-3 zone, wanting to make the Panthers shoot.
They are. Still playing pretty aggressive for the most part, but yes, they'd like to see more shooting because Panthers haven't been all too hot from outside, and as I say that, okay, there we go. I thought I was going to be wrong immediately.
Comes McKenzie back the other way. Left alone is Walden. Off on the three-pointer. Here come the other way. Rachi to the corner. Johnson fakes it. Now back to Bose, and another foul here. This one going to go on Olivier Rodriguez. And that's already 16 fouls to go against UMass Boston. So we mentioned it. Those fouls are racking up in a hurry.
They are fast. The refs are being quick with the whistles, too. I think, it was light contact from Olivier Rodriguez, but it was enough. So they need to be more careful with how they're handling their contact.
Rachi looking for options, goes to Bose. 7 on the shot clock. He's going to go isolation against Rodriguez. And he loses the handle, gets to Thomas. Thomas just gets it off. Does catch rim. There's Lorquette, though, with the rebound. Now the handoff, Lorquette. Back to Walden. Top of the key for Joy. Panthers kind of like a switching. Oh, and Bose got the block, but he did get the foul. I was going to say, it's kind of like an in-and-out 2-3 to a 3-2. You have those guys on the wing sort of stepping up from where they are down low.
They do, yes. It's working pretty well so far here.
Timeout taken by UMass Boston. Second personal foul, by the way, to go on Ty Thomas. 11:54 to go. It's an 11-point lead here for UMass Boston. Again, this is a team that started out, as you said, Mac, very strong to start the year. Then they've sort of faded back. They've had some tough games as of late. Mentioned the 3 straight losses to Eastern Connecticut State, Western Connecticut State, and UMass Dartmouth. But including today, they end the regular season with 3 out of their next 4 games right here at home.
Yes, and that's huge. That's a big difference. They've had some tough road trips, a really good WestCon team at home. It's been a difficult stretch run. The UMass Dartmouth loss is not the one that they are feeling best about. That's a frustrating one, but I think it's a sign that they need to get back on the horse, and it gets started here against Plymouth State.
And we also mentioned they've lost 4 out of their last 5. If there is a bright spot out of that, they took Keene State, a team undefeated and currently 6th in the nation, to the limit. They only lost by 7.
Exactly. It was a strong performance against Keene, and that's a tough thing to be able to say at the end of the day. So this is a team that can hang there up with the best in the league. But if they're playing their best ball, which they haven't been for a little while now.
Yeah, by the way, Keene State 20-1 overall. They are 12-0 in the conference. Meanwhile, the team in second place, WestCon, 19-1, 11-1 in conference play. So it's a very strong top of the standings in the LEC. McKenzie makes both his free throws, gets that lead back to 13.
A lot of national influence in this conference here, and UMass Boston has a chance to be a part of it.
So looks like Harris is going to bring back Manny Zayas. He's at the scorer's table. He's going to let him play with those 4 fouls. Thomas gets it out to Bose. Little jumper from the elbow is off. Loose ball is gathered by Plymouth State, and he calls a timeout. So smart play by Thomas. He called the timeout as he had his teammate McKinley on the ball. And this is going to be huge here for UMass Boston. It looks like a comfortable 13-point lead, but we know how scrappy Plymouth State can be. What do they have to do to keep any kind of comeback from happening?
Absolutely. So they need to make sure that they are controlling turnovers. We've talked about it all day long, but that is so key. They can't be wasting possessions. They need to have nice, long possessions that run a lot of time off the clock and not give Plymouth State free possessions. Also, watch the fouling. Clearly, the whistles have been very sensitive so far here in the second. They can't be affording to give Plymouth State a bunch of free throws because they're a good free throw team, and that's not a game that they want to play down late with this Panther.
Both teams have been struggling just a little bit. Beacons are 6 of 16 from the field. Panthers 3 of 10. Bose off the mark. Back the other way comes UMass Boston. Down low for Lorquette on the baseline. Gets it out to Zayas. Fakes it. Drives. Into the corner for Walden. Three-pointer, knocks it down.
And that's what the freshman brings, a little bit of unexpected sharpshooting from beyond the mark. He is one of the younger players on this team and the tallest player on this team, but he's a secret little three-point shot that is incredible when it's going.
As we said, your standard stretch four. That's what you want out of your big guy. Here's Dean with the three-pointer off the mark. There's Walden with the rebound.
And that's what he can do. That's the other thing he can do is just grab rebounds over everybody else.
You know, it's kind of like one of those things where you might have a taller guy, but you'll play him at the 4 instead of the center spot. I think that's what the Beacons are doing here. Oh, what a backdoor cut for Walden. He gets it and the foul.
An excellent find from Malik Lorquette to Connor Walden, a bucket plus the foul.
Yeah, a great backdoor cut there by Walden. He's got a shot at the three-point play. But as I was talking about, you got Lorquette, who's probably your stronger player. That's why you put him at the center.
Absolutely.
You trust him more down low than you would Walden. That's why you put the taller guy at the 4.
For sure. You want Walden to have a little fluidity between positions. And Malik Lorquette is just, it doesn't matter that he's one of the smaller centers. He's one of the better centers. And he can play the game better than most down low.
Walden with a beautiful arc on that shot. He completes the three-point play, and just like that, we blinked, and it's an 18-point game.
Right. This is what we've been talking about. This slow burn to a big lead that the Beacons can build on you just by wearing you down. And we're seeing it from the Panthers here.
Bosé gets it back out to Thomas. And a little hesitation there by Marsh. He travels. He gets the possession back to UMass Boston.
We've not seen much from Hazleton. We mentioned, the height of the Beacons lineup as they take Malik Lorquette out, but they've got Tommy Burris out there, they've got Connor Walden out there, and they've got no one who's really in their neighborhood in terms of height. Hazleton still on the sideline, has been for most of the second half.
By the way, Walden, 11 points on 4 of 7 shooting, 2 of 5 from 3. The freshman having a great game. Manny Zayas unable to make the reverse. The jumper off the mark. And it's almost like that game of cat and mouse you mentioned with Hazleton. You probably don't want him in with Lorquette at the same time or some kind of strategy. So we'll see what head coach Andrew Norvik does for the remaining 9:36 to go in the second half. He low to McKenzie, down low to Walden. Walden's going to turn and fire. Off the mark. Bosé tracks it down.
I would have been fired up if Connor Walden hit that one because that was a really pretty jumper. Just missed the mark, but a good setup.
And is this going to be another foul here? The blocking foul. It's going to go on Ilua. And Ilua now in danger. So you got 2 players currently on the floor for UMass Boston with 4 personal fouls. So see how long of a string and a leash these 2 guys have for Jason Harris. Dean wanted the step back. Now instead goes to Marsh. Marsh in pressure. Gets it to Dean. 7 on the shot clock here. Bosé going to do a step back 3 over Burris. Off the mark. That one gets tipped to Thomas, and he's unable to hit.
Just a little too much chaos for Thomas to get that shot off cleanly. Tripped over his own player.
Walden goes cross court. Ilua now goes to Burris down low in the post.
Burris with the size advantage here.
Here comes the double. Tried to get it to Walden. Good double team and stolen. Now Bosé's got an open basket. He's got Zayas, and Zayas had to run out of the way. Remember, he's got 4 fouls.
Yes, absolutely. You don't mind him passing that one up. That's a good business decision.
So he makes the layup. Got it to a 17-point game. Zayas with the handles. Crossover.
Oh.
Now hands it off. McKenzie, and the call here looked like one was going to say a block, one was going to say a charge. And a blocking foul is the call on Galbraith. And that is the 17th foul, so we're going to get a couple of free throws here for McKenzie. I think McKenzie was about to come out. He didn't realize it was a 1-and-1.
This is where the Beacons can really pull away. They've now extended this lead to 17, but if they can hit their free throws, which they've been good at so far this season, struggling a little bit today, they can really extend this lead even more so.
That's what it's going to come down to, it looks like, as you have Beaks in the bonus, and then you got 1 away from getting into the bonus for both teams. And McKenzie goes in and out. So possible chance for the Panthers to close in on this lead. Here's Bosay looking to drive, and he gets the foul. He'll get himself back to the line. And they're going to call it on Walden. So Bosay, you got to think if the Panthers are going to have any shot at coming back, they got to run the offense through number 5.
Oh, very much so. He's really the only player that has truly thrived against this tough Beacons defense. There's a reason he's the leading scorer, because he makes the plays himself. The adjustments that he's making, the space that he's finding on the court, he's going to be the one to get things started.
Now 4 of 7 from the free throw line after that one. 15 points, 7 rebounds. You have to think you'd want a little bit more out of him. Bosay coming off a 21-point performance. Victory over Castleton. He goes 1 of 2. Lorquette grabs the rebound, and back the other way come the Beaks. And it was a big win over Castleton for Plymouth State. They snapped their 3-game losing streak. They won it very closely, 71-69. And is that going to be it for Ilua? I think he just got called for an over the back. And it is. That is 5 personal fouls. Ike Lewis fouling out. And it looks like a timeout is going to be taken. So that might come back to bite UMass Boston, depending on how things go. You got Ilua, who's pretty much an energy kind of guy.
Absolutely.
And now he's out of the rotation. Meanwhile, you've got your point guard, Zayas, sitting with 4 fouls.
It's a struggle that they get into every so often, is their most clutch, important down-the-stretch players get into some trouble, and now we're not going to see Ilua. We're not going to see as much of Zayas as we'd like. Other players need to step it up. Other guards, Bobby Joy needs to start really commanding the offense as the de facto point guard with Zayas off the floor. Their other big guys need to step up as well, make some plays.
And Beacons had a lead as large as 19, currently sitting at 16. But you have to think, with as scrappy of a team as Plymouth State is, that lead can vanish in a hurry.
Oh, easily. Plymouth State is a team that could go on a run for sure, and it all starts with Bosay. You and I mentioned he's the best scorer on the floor right now, and if anything's going to get going, it's through him.
Meanwhile, Bosay has played, just getting the number real quick, there's a possibility of playing about 33 minutes. And so far, he has played 32.
Wow.
So very little rest, if any. First one is good there for Tom Johnson, graduate guard from Warner, New Hampshire. Trying to cut this lead even more. And he goes 2 for 2. And wouldn't you know, it's a 14-point game. By the way, that's now 15 free throw attempts, or I should say 16 free throw attempts. In total, both teams have a combined 35 free throw attempts. Beaks with 19. And the Panthers with 16 as Lorquette finds an opening and lays that home.
That's the type of play that Malik Lorquette makes as a veteran, making that adjustment.
Ooh, Tom Johnson coming back with a 3-pointer. Again, we mentioned it, a scrappy Plymouth State team is not going to go away that easily.
Exactly. They're going to try to grind away at this lead slowly. They have 7 more minutes to make an impact on this deficit they've got themselves into.
There's Lorquette going for the Euro step, the floater. Yeah. Beautiful finish there for Lorquette. Again, it's almost like he can get ahead of steam with Hazelton kind of giving him that space,
Absolutely.
And he can go into his back tricks.
He knows Hazelton isn't going to play him aggressive, so he's taken what he's given him, and it's been enough to get him in good range for shots.
Johnson backs it out. He's going to go down low for Hazelton. He's going to turn and fire. No. Lorquette with the rebound. And he's going to push the floor here. Gets it to Burris. Back to Lorquette.
Bam!
There's another jam. Not a poster.
No.
But we'll take the dunk.
It gets the people on their feet. Malik Lorquette, man, what an athlete.
How about the heads-up play there? He was in the backcourt. He saw the space down the middle. All he had to do was the give and go with a beautiful finish. And there's another foul as Bosay was driving in.
I often curmudgeonly complain about players who have the opportunity for a dunk and pass it up for a layup because it's more safe. I think go for the fun play, and Malik Lorquette.
Well, Lorquette, I think Lorquette is one of those
finish.
players when he gets ahead of steam, you're not going to stop.
Absolutely
So just
not.
let him go ahead.
I think they saw what happened last time, and they all got out of the way on that possession.
And what's interesting, Hazleton just came right off right after Lorquette had a great play in the post against him. He's coming right off.
It's been a tough matchup for Hazleton, and this is kind of he's probably not used to smaller guys being able to match up with him like Lorquette can, but Malik is strong, he's athletic, he's smart. So a good lesson to learn for the young gun, and you imagine he'll be one of the better centers for years to come in the LEC.
Oh, keep in mind, he's a freshman. There's
Exactly.
still plenty of time for Hazleton. But meanwhile, Lorquette gets it done in a hurry.
He's really in his bag now. He has not missed in quite some time, and he's getting all the shots that he wants.
Goes Bosé now to Thomas. For options is Menard. Goes to Johnson. Johnson fires, knocks it down. That's a good contest there by Joy, but just a better shot there from the elbow.
Johnson's been having quite the fourth quarter, as it were, last half of the second half. He's really come alive here, and he's becoming one of the better options for Plymouth State.
Now to Joy. Joy looking for options, goes to Lorquette. Swinging it around here for Zayas. 10 on the shot clock here, Olivier Rodriguez. Off the mark, rebound goes to Johnson. Johnson going to push it up that right side. Meanwhile, Lorquette, 26 points, 17 rebounds for the center. And he got the foul there, unfortunately, on the late contest. Tom Johnson has been rolling as of late these past couple of minutes. And he's got a chance to get this thing down to 12.
That was quite the stretch, as we mentioned. He's been a surprise here. We're expecting to see Bosé and Thomas make plays, but Tom Johnson, man, getting his nose in there and not letting this Beacon lead get too wide.
See what he can do with this free throw here. He gets it to go. He's now got 12 points on 4 of 8 shooting in 17 minutes.
He's earning a little extra playing time tonight. I think he wasn't a starter, but, man, an impressive game off the bench for Tom Johnson.
Zayas goes to McKenzie. Trying to go for Lorquette and saved by Marsh. Marsh ahead to Menard. He's going to try and drive in, turns, and the block by Burris. Looks like he kind of mishandled it on the shot.
He did.
Tried to gather it back. McKenzie driving, layup, counted, and the foul.
A very tough bucket for the freshman, and that's the kind of play he's been making all year long. He's a first-year player, but he makes plays like he's been here forever. With got raked across the face. That's not an easy one to fight through, but he got it and the foul.
McKenzie's played in 20 minutes here today. He's 4 of 7 from the field, and he's got 12 points. Make it 13. As the Beacons trying to put their foot in the gas and pull away, but the Panthers just continue to hang in there. Coming up on 4.5 minutes, and Johnson trying to get as close to the rim as possible to avoid the block, but instead he drew the foul. And is that Lorquette?
Tough break.
You got to be careful now. That's 4 personal fouls to go on Lorquette. So you've got arguably your 2 top players for UMass Boston, Lorquette and Zayas, each playing with 4 fouls.
Yeah, they've been playing a little loose, a little, with a double-digit lead. You can play a little more aggressive if you want, but you want to keep in mind that you got to have your players out there just in case this lead gets small.
This will be attempts 20 and 21 for Plymouth State here on the afternoon. As again, they cut into this lead. It's now 14, going to try and make it 13. Here in the second half, they are 9 of 10 now from the free throw line. They haven't shot it as great. 7 of 22, 3 of 11 from 3. But it's the free throws that are helping them come back in this game.
That's where the game is won and lost down the stretch here. Now that both teams are in the bonus, this is what you're going to have your eye on.
Burris looking for options. Goes to McKenzie back out top. Down low, Lorquette. There's the double. Out to Zayas. 3-pointer. Nails it.
And that's why they can afford to give up some free throws, because they have big playability like that with Zayas. Just an incredible 3-point shooter from the top of the key. He's taking that every time.
And you know for a fact that Plymouth State is going to try and attack, try and get those fouls. But instead, Tom Johnson is on fire as he hits another three-pointer. Plymouth State almost had the steal there. And it looks like a timeout is going to be taken. So how about Plymouth State? They continue to roll here. 13 points. Let's show you some of the replays that we've had. First, let's start with that Lorquette dunk, as that was just a thing of beauty. The Malik Lorquette coming down the lane.
Got him on a breakaway, and yeah, no one was getting in his way. They've seen what he can do. They knew exactly what was coming. Full head of steam. He was moving fast, and no one's going to get underneath him for that play.
But now you have to think, will Lorquette sort of change things up with those 4 personal fouls? You know, there is 3:45 to go. We'll have to see what the Beacon strategy is. You have to think you're not going to change anything if Lorquette is playing the way he is.
Right, exactly. The only thing that you're worried about is playing too aggressive and drawing another foul. You want him on the court for the duration. I mean, the lead is now out to 13, but you know that cushion could become very small, especially with the late arising of Tom Johnson, who is a sub storyline here in this game that's been really impressive. He never started a game, not this season at least, and he has 21 points total on the season coming into this game.
Tom Johnson was a graduate transfer from the University of Charleston. That's the D2 team. He comes here to Plymouth State. In his 10th game, he's got 17 points off of just some incredible shooting. Beacon's going to try and get it over half court. Zayas slow it down and break that full court press. Zayas looking for options. 3.5 to go. Leads at 13. McKenzie to Burris. Now to Zayas. Down low for Lorquette. The bread and butter. And a foul gets called.
They were all over him. They did not give him any space.
And you see how quickly Thomas gets over there on the double team. They don't want him to do anything on offense once he catches the ball.
I think they're fine with him going to the line. They've seen that he's had inconsistencies. You're Malik Lorquette, you're locking in. You're getting ready to shoot some free throw lines because they're going to hack a shack down here at the end. They want to.
Well, he is 6 of 9 from today, so it's not completely out of the question to completely hack him.
Absolutely.
We've seen he can make those free throws, and he makes the first one. He's approaching 30 points, by the way. 27 points now in the afternoon to go along with 17 rebounds.
Incredible. He's liable to go 30 and 15 on any given night.
And he goes 2 for 2. That leads now at 15. You can see, you can hear Harris, Coach Harris saying, you know, try and slow things down. Don't get over aggressive.
Absolutely. Not have fouls to give, so be very careful here.
Here's Dean driving in. He loses the handle, and it goes off his leg. Beacons are going to get it right back. And you're seeing the strategy here. These quick substitutions. You got Quinn Rachi coming in for offense. Then you take him right out with Riley Marsh for defense. And it looks like Beaks are going to do the same thing here with Carson Mexwer. Goes to Burris up ahead. Here's Mexwer, and he's going to lay it home. So Beacon's not worrying about the clock trying to go it down. They're just pushing the pace.
When you got to play it that wide open, I think Plymouth State seemed to not even realize he was on the court. He was out there by himself. He's not going to get an easier bucket than that.
In and out there for Johnson. So the hot shooting flamed out just a little bit. There goes McKenzie now. And McKenzie's just going to call a timeout here. He didn't like the play set up. So now Beacons once again stretching it 76 to 59. You'd say the Beacons are in a firm position, but there's still a lot more time than you think.
There's a lot of game left to play. See a big round of applause for Malik Lorquette. Wondering what that is. Wonder if I know he's nearing in on the rebound record. I don't think we have any notes on that. But that might have been it. We'll have to check in after the game and let you know. But it looks like a big milestone, and Malik Lorquette can't help but reach those milestones.
And I mean, what a game to do it on if it is a certain milestone. Nearly a 30-point double-double. He's got 17 rebounds.
He's truly one of the best players that this program has seen. He has really made an impact, and this season has been huge for him. A big chance, and with a win tonight, if they can secure a win tonight, they've got momentum going in the right direction. But as you mentioned, we are over 2.5 minutes left to play. We've got a lot of time left. Plymouth State is still shooting the ball well, and if free throws start going the wrong way, we might see a closer game than we expect.
McKenzie is going to get it into Zayas. See, when Plymouth State starts playing the foul game here, here comes the double. McKenzie with the grab, lays it home, and a foul gets called. Is this going to go on Bosé? Believe it is. And Bosé, that's his first personal, but it will get McKenzie back to the free throw line. And I think we're going to get an announcement on what the accomplishment for Lorquette was.
I think we're going to.
McKenzie's going to head to the free throw line. First one is good.
There it is.
Career rebound, just like you said.
Career rebound record. No better player to do it. He breaks Terry Kennedy's long-standing record from back in the 1980s. 789, I believe it will be. So far, with more to come, you expect he'll get at least 800 in the next couple weeks. And what a player for the Beacons. Malik Lorquette, a huge game, a huge season to end a huge career.
And it's kind of fitting that as he was getting taken out, the announcement was getting made, getting the proper ovation that he did from the crowd here.
Absolutely, a nice curtain call.
The Clark Athletic Gym.
So now we're going to see some younger players for the Beaks trying to protect this lead, trying to hold on, and a big win they're hoping to secure on the Harbor campus.
Yeah, you see Fidendi Francois is out there, along with Malik Brooms.
I believe this is a full freshman lineup, I believe, or all underclassmen at least.
And a beautiful finish there. By the way, there it is. You see the graphic. 7-8-9 is now for Lorquette. Past Kennedy, Shea. He's got the record.
What a list. And Malik Lorquette, no better player, as I mentioned, to hold the rebound record now in program history. He just racks them out. He racks them up. He goes out there every night. You can expect double-digit rebounds. There's nobody else that you go out there and you expect him to get double-digit rebounds, but he's that kind of guy. He's that reliable, and a double-double is imminent every time he steps on the court.
So Plymouth State is going to empty their bench as well. So it looks like both teams starters are calling it a night. It looks like the Beaks are going to finally snap that 3-game losing streak in quite an emphatic way. It wasn't pretty at times. I mean, the start of that game was not, I wouldn't say it wasn't pretty, starting with 11 turnovers.
Absolutely
here they are
not.
cleaning things up.
That first half was not what the Beacons wanted, not what they expected. This second half, they've really pulled away, and they've inflated this lead little by little, and now it's going to be a big win on the Harbor campus, and this is huge, as we mentioned, heading into the end game of the season.
Oh, yeah, by the way, 11 turnovers for UMass Boston that first half. Second half, 2. Only
That's incredible.
2.
That's a winning formula for the second half. 2 turnovers is outstanding. Any coach will take that in a half. This has been really clean basketball, been really put together. Beacons did what they needed to do to win.
The Eric Donaldson check in. The 4th personal foul on Marsh, by the way. And you are right, it is an all-freshman lineup out there for the Beak. You got Donaldson, the freshman. He knocks the first one in. You got Nike Armstrong, Francois, Brooms. And you also got who we mentioned, Mekdawar. 1 of 2. Here's the drive for Ratchie. No good. Loose ball is gathered. That's Francois. He's going to go to Armstrong. He tries to get in there, and an offensive foul, unfortunately. Went in for the layup, unable to get it down. So got 1:10 to go. Beacons on their way to a big-time victory. And they needed it, as you said, Max, early on. They needed this victory.
Absolutely, for standings and for momentum. They went through a tough patch. And Tom Johnson, shout out. Big game for Tom Johnson.
20 points on the afternoon.
Yes, Beacons needed this one. They needed to get back to their winning ways after a tough stretch facing some of the best teams, not only in the league, but in the entire country. And now here they are, what should be in the neighborhood of a 20-point win, a 17-point lead at the moment. They got the job done today. And if this is what they're going to look like moving forward, I think they can really hang with some of the best in the conference.
We can give you some updates from other LEC action in men's basketball. Keene State pulled away, came out with a victory over WestCon on the road, 92-76. Southern Maine also comes away with the victory, 91-86 over UMass Dartmouth. And Eastern Connecticut State with the 69-40 win at home over Castleton. So if you're doing the math, that means UMass Boston's still going to have the tiebreaker over Southern Maine for number 3 in the LEC. And Eastern Connecticut, again, still on their heels behind at half a game. So there's a three-pointer off the mark.
Beaks really emptying the clip now. Looks like Benjamin Gamble about to come in. Walk-on player. Fan favorite here.
They got to get it over half court if they want to get him in. But they lose the ball, though. Opportunity here for Marsh. And he'll just lay it home. I don't know if he's going to get a chance to get in, though.
That's too bad.
25 seconds to go. Shot clock turned off. Just get it over half court, and the game will be over. And now they'll just pass it around. They'll let the clock wind down. Panthers still giving some pressure. And that's going to look like wrap things up. They just continue to dribble it out. Froome's under some pressure. He does get it off, and there's your game. As the Beacons snap their 3-game losing streak with an impressive performance. They win at 82-66 over Plymouth State. It was, I guess the label you could say it was a get-right game.
Absolutely it was. We keep saying it. They needed this one. They wanted this one. And they did what they needed to do in the second half to get it. It really looked like an even matchup in the first half, and I think Plymouth State maybe just ran out of gas. Maybe it was the experience of UMass Boston and the physicality that they brought in the second half. Beacons get the dub, and they're hoping to win out, coast into the playoffs, home playoff game. They want to feel good going into the postseason. This is a great place to start.
So as said, they'll stay in third place. They still have the tiebreaker, but they do get a little bit of space for at least getting into the playoff. That's a good sign for the Beacons. Meanwhile, Plymouth State, they are going to fall to a record of 2-11 in conference play. There's still mathematically a shot for them to get into the playoffs, but they're going to have to win out. Not like they had to already win out, but they've got to keep winning.
Right, for sure. There's hope for Plymouth State, but there's some positive things to be seen here. But definitely UMass Boston proved that they were the better team on the court tonight. Came out with the win.
So Beacons go to an overall record of 14-7, 7-5 in conference play. Plymouth State goes to 9-13 with an overall record of 2-11. Final statistics here. You look at it. On the team side of things, just nothing but great shooting. And we actually have Malik Lorquette behind us. Congratulations on the rebounding record, sir.
Want to grab a headset?
Yeah, let's talk. Let's talk to the man. Let's talk. So we are joined here by Malik Lorquette. Malik, first, yeah, we got you, man. Congratulations on the win, by the way. First off, you got the career rebounding record. What does it mean to be the new leader in career rebounds?
It honestly means a lot. Just a lot of blood, sweat, and tears this past 4 years. Ups and downs, big wins, big losses, and this year has just been like a really big year for us. So it's really cool to have something to that represents it.
So you had a very strong game, a near 30-point, 17 rebound, triple-double. Looked like that first half you went a little bit slow, but you cleaned up the turnovers in the second half. What was coach's message heading into halftime?
Pretty much just keep staying resilient, stay strong. We're coming off a 3-game losing streak, so we know we needed a win, especially if we want to host a game for our home fans in the playoffs. So we knew we needed to come out with a win and play hard the second half.
So now you got 2 weeks left in the regular season. I imagine you guys are feeling good. As you said, you snapped your 3-game losing streak. What's the message all around the locker room for these final 2 weeks as you get ready for the playoffs?
Finish the year strong, go win a ring. That's it.
All right.
Well, simple.
Malik Lorquette, tremendous performance. We'll take a short break. We'll come right back with your final statistics. Malik Lorquette and the Beacons come away with the victory. Malik Lorquette, the newest leader in career rebounds. Congratulations to him, and what a nice guy.
Oh,
Super
great
nice.
guy. One of my favorite guys in the world, to be honest with you. No better guy to take home that record, and what a meaningful career accomplishment for him. Just one of the leaders of this team, and that leadership is really paying off. You can see this team with a strong record, the 3 seed in the LEC at the moment, and they look primed to hold on to it as they head into the postseason. Couldn't be more excited for that.
So before we sign off, let's look around the upcoming schedule here for men's basketball. As mentioned, 2 weeks left in the regular season. Malik said himself, it's time for a playoff push. They've got 4 more games, I should say. Castleton, Rhode Island College, Southern Maine, and Keene State. Should be a very exciting end of the regular season. Max, tremendous as always to be your partner, but our production crew just as good. We'll sign off. Our producer, Michael Vesky, Maria Spilios as our director. We got our camera operators, Katie Rennie, Elsa Vanaco, Georgia Bonnie, and Miranda Cuddy. Graphic department, great job by Grace Kelly and Elena Albano on the replays. We needed a lot of them during that men's game.
We sure did.
So props to them. And for Max Clifford, my name is Joe Braverman. Thank you for watching men's